The weirdest thing happened to me today. Someone I used to know from school bumped into me when I was doing squats at the gym. He was always one of the more well-respected guys, quite popular, pretty good at football, which is a big deal where I come from, and fairly confident. We both greeted each other, as you do, but then he immediately started talking to me. He said something that it sended shivers down my spine. He said, "Are you red-pilled yet?" If anyone I know had said that to me, I would have just assumed they were taking the piss and I would have laughed it off. But I could see from his face that it was deadly serious. I assumed the only people that took Manosphere shite seriously were losers with neckbeards that spend all the time in the mum's basement, posting on Reddit. But here he was, sat with me. Let's call him Archie. What I thought of as a decent, respectful guy, telling me weird, horrible things. Almost everything that came out of his mouth was about how to pick up women. Just to sort of get you in the mindset of the stuff he was talking about, he was saying, like, do you know who Clavicular is and Andrew Tate? He was telling me about hypergamy and how the lower echelon of women, his words, are always, they want, he said guys like us who are the top tier of men. And he said, that's just the way it is. And he said, look around at the gym. There's these average people, very average looking people, and this place is supposed to be a mecca for self-improvement. And then he went on to tell me about black pills and all this nonsense. Anyway, I would get it. I would kind of get it if he was my mate and we were chatting shite on a fishing trip or on a car ride. But coming from a guy I've not said hi to in about 4 years, to just come up to me and start spewing this shite made me feel pretty weird. But more, it made me feel seriously bad for the guy, because it's clearly something that was on his mind. He told me he'd been seeing this girl for a couple of months, and I could tell by the way he was talking about it that he really liked her. And he was saying, if your girl kisses somebody, would that be grounds for breakup? Personally, I think it depends on how much you like the girl and how long you've known her, and if you think it's something that's in her character. But then he goes on to say, she's going on a girls' trip to Albufeira for a couple of weeks. And after that, he was very adamant that he has to end things with her, because that is disrespectful towards him, just because of the kind of things that guys and girls do on these lads' trips. And I just thought it was so sad that in the very short time between being born and dying, he lets his pride get in the way of potentially a truly meaningful and positive experience. But it goes on to get worse. It goes on to tell me he doesn't even enjoy shagging women. He just likes to get them to the point where they make themselves vulnerable to him. And as if the more girls that he can get to that point to open up to him, but without him having to open up back, makes him more of a man. And as much as I'm ashamed to admit it, I deeply understood what he was talking about, because I've been there before. Having a girl want you, even admit that she thinks that she needs you, is a very, very powerful boost to your ego. It feels great, but it won't make you feel great forever. It's like cocaine. You'll feel shit when you don't have it, and you'll spend all of your time and mental energy trying to get it. And you won't appreciate when you do have it. That's why I think getting your heart broken at a young age is good for you. It's almost a blessing. Although it stings, and it's honestly one of the worst feelings in the world to have, and you feel so jealous and so horrible. But to go through that multiple times, face first, into all of these breakups, and really opening yourself up to girls and letting yourself fall in love with them, and eventually, inevitably, not always, have your heart broken. I think that's something that's actually a blessing. It makes you less scared of these things. It makes you less insecure. You're able to manage it better, and it means that you can open up to more positive experiences in the future. Look, I'm not disregarding what he's saying, and I don't want to come across as condescending by making this video. I know a lot of people that will probably agree with him, and he himself said that he's happy, which is more than can be said about me most of the time. But it does make me worry about the damage that's been done by all this Manosphere nonsense. It makes me think it's worse than I thought. But maybe you can take something good from this in the same way that I did. It made me feel quite relieved that I'm no longer being led in a collar by my ego with an insatiable thirst to be thought of as a man fit for mating. Now I have different problems, but they're not quite as all-consuming. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of video in the comments, if rather than the more boring sciencey ones.